How's it? It's Tuesday. SportsCage. Like he said, Saskatchewan Lottery is our sponsor. Thanks for making some time, whether you're watching that stream at sportscage.com or if you're on the old-fashioned radio, 620 CKRM. I guess also there's the audio streams as well that a lot of people pick it up on. Today's show for Sask Lotteries, rider update, injury update. What are we gonna hear from practice today? Just coming down the pipe, some news on Tavon Campbell, Antoine Brooks Jr. Going to keep you updated on that. Tristan Frei, new assistant general manager with the Regina Pats, a young up-and-comer in the hockey world, is going to join us also in Hour 1. Talk about his new position as he transitions into that. Hour 2, Arash Madani. $1 million that Arash wants to talk about the Blue Jays. They are the hottest team in the world. Probably any professional sport right now. And you know we're big Blue Jay people here. We're going to hear from Troy Volhoffer on the passing of former Regina Pat Lyndon Byers. Passed away at the age of 61 on Friday. Troy played with him, grew up with him here in and around Regina and the Notre Dame. Sad news there. It is our first ever Pump Jacks Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse trivia in Hour 2. This is your warning. You're going to have to call in. You're going to have some sort of telephone. Payphone will work. We are going to give you a trivia question. One lucky caller is going to have 10 seconds to answer that. You win it, $50 to Cathedral, Pump Jack Cathedral. You can buy whatever you want. And if you lose, still get a prize. You get a lunch. So we'll run that down. That's in Hour 2. Get your dialing fingers ready. 936-6262. Toll free 1-866-767-0620. You can find it on Google or on the webpage. I know I say it really fast. Also coming up, Glen Suitor today. And then our Indigenous sport spotlight for Freeze Tallman Lumber in Hour 3. We're going to talk to the head coach of Team Saskatchewan that was at the 2025 Indigenous Football Cup, and they brought home bronze medal. And the Red Sox report as well. The Red Sox play tonight in Regina. So that's a show. We're all over the place today. It'll be a good one. Joining me today from the Piffles podcast, Greg's back in the seat. You were stuck in traffic, almost didn't get here. Where was the construction or traffic that you're stuck in?
I was stuck under the bridge over here on Broad Street.
Yeah, that's a sneaky one today.
I was a little worried. I thought I was going to be able to call in for the Pump Jack trivia because we weren't moving. So I was actually looking forward to that. Can I leave for that, or can I do that from my seat here?
No. I would leave the studio. You can play along. Sure. I'll give a hint out there too. It is baseball. It's baseball themed. Question, Hour 2. But that construction, it's construction season, right? I don't know about that overpass on North Albert there, that Westridge construction shout out. I know you guys are working hard, but does anyone have an idea? Like, is this like September finish? It's been a while, staying style.
It's going to be a while. And that's the thing about Saskatchewan. You've got 3 seasons. You got winter, you got rider season, you got construction season. That's all you got.
And when they first started it, I was talking to a guy from Westridge, tongue in cheek, and he said, Barney, don't get your hopes up. I said, oh, you guys got lights. They're doing construction at night. We have entered the 90s in Saskatchewan. We got light construction. And he said, don't get your hopes up. So I think that was just the one contractor had lights. Other than that, she's been day work. That one is taking a while. I know all over the province people are dealing with construction. A lot of people are going to be driving to Regina from different directions this weekend, Friday especially, Rider home game, and we have Country Thunder. We'll be talking about that. I want to get it. I love talking music with Greg because then his cronies start texting in.
Cronies, easy.
And heckling. So we'll get to that. All of our guests are joined on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Perfect pizza, generous amount of toppings, and all the Greek favorites you like. Prairie Land Rentals text line is always open, 936-6262. Deal with the owner, 600 Albert Street, whether you need power tools, generators, skid steers. They got it all at Prairie Land Rentals. And then our sports tickers every hour brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals, Extreme Hockey and Sport, and Steelcraft Doors in Regina. Do you go to Country Thunder?
It's been years.
Like when was the last time you went?
Oh, probably 100 pounds less in about at least 2 decades.
So what was it then? Was it country?
It was Country Thunder. That's when it first came back as Country
Brad
Thunder.
Paisley and Tim McGraw?
Tim McGraw the first year, then Alan Jackson, and then, Brad Paisley and that run, yeah.
Why haven't you been back? Just not your vibe?
They get harder every year. As you get older, they get harder every year.
It's the rock thing that they started last year with Nickelback. Now
that doesn't bother me as much as it bothers other people, but
I like Nickelback.
Yeah.
You know what? Slagging on Nickelback was kind of a cool thing for a while there. This year it's Def Leppard, the rock band. Like, who doesn't? I don't know if I could find somebody. 936-6262. If you don't like one Def Leppard song, I don't know if I have anybody in my Rolodex, in my phone, that I've ever come across in life that doesn't like a Def Leppard song.
There's one or two out there, yeah, I guess. But it's just weird, the demographic they're trying to hit. Like, Nickelback, you kind of get my age, and the kids now think it's cool again. Def Leppard, if they're looking for that younger crowd, that's going to be a interesting moment for them.
Strategically, though, the younger crowd, they got Saturday. They got that Bailey Zimmerman, who's I saw him. He was here 2 years ago, and he kind of played like the 5 o'clock set, and I was like, I don't know. I'll go and watch him. And I think I took my daughter. This guy was nothing but energy, and seems really genuine. Like how he shouldn't be where he is. He kind of goes through that. Now he's a headliner. He headlines all over like the States and that. So he's here. That's the younger crowd. And then what's his name? Tyler Hubbard. I call him Chris Hubbard. Yep. Tyler Hubbard from Florida Georgia Line. Yep. I listened to May We All was on the other day on the radio. And I'm like, this is such a good song. So Florida Georgia Line was another kind of band that it was cool if you didn't like them. Partially. Well, Bubblegum Pop.
Well, the joke was when he did the Grey Cup was Florida Georgia Radiant. Like, it wasn't a full line segment. It was one of those things like, oh, cool, it's Florida, half of Florida Georgia Line. But yeah, no, he's a good musician and a good singer. But yeah, just.
And then Friday night after the Rider game, Jason Aldean, and there are some people that I'm like, no, not an Aldean, but most people, you start going through his set list that he's going to play. Yep. Does he have songs? And I'm an Aldean fan. The last time, classic mistake we've all made at concerts or festivals, you go and it's like, he was there, don't remember a thing. And I remember seeing him and don't remember a thing.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, when I talk about my time at Craven, I think about the side stage, not the main stage. Like, I saw Carrie Underwood. I saw like all those like people coming up before they became someone. Like, I saw Taylor Swift at Craven, and it's a blink in my memory because also I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen Taylor Swift, and I'm telling this to my daughter, and she's like, oh my god, you've seen Taylor Swift? I'm like, not the way you know her.
I remember that when she was like just coming up, and she played like Country Thunder, Carrie Underwood, same thing. It's you got to pace yourself too. Oh yeah, like those kids the kids nowadays, they have access to more things that are legalized than when we were younger and we were Guzzletown. But it's going to be hot.
Well, Craven's a marathon, not a sprint, but everyone treats it like it's the 800 meters and you just go right off the blocks.
Yeah.
Like, I look at some of the stuff we did back then, like even like beer darts. Who thinks that's a good idea? Who throws darts at each other's ankles trying to hit a beer can? But there we are.
I never toiled in that, but I know exactly what you're talking about. So yeah, we can, the rock thing I want to get into, and I have some questions on if they brought that. I know the last time you were here and what was it, Billy Joel?
Yeah, Billy Joel, Spice Girls, and we had an interesting conversation and a lot of angry text messages.
Billy Joel comes to the Valley. That thing is sold out.
Oh, Piano Man, they're just echoing through the valley. Come on,
Uptown Girl, echoing through. He's got some good slow ones too. Piano Man's one of them. But let's shelf that and get into rider talk. Injuries. Samuel Emilus.
Yep.
Talked yesterday on the show. I'm surprised that we come back from a bye week and he still looks. He ain't gonna go.
The good news is he was at that signing this past weekend, and by all accounts, he's not limping. So I'm guessing he's close. But if you look at the guys that have stepped up, we've hit the point where we don't need to force him into a situation we don't need him in. So I'm not overly concerned about it. Like if we are talking same thing in 3 weeks where he's not ready to go, then obviously it's something serious. But I think even after a bye week, you ease him in. I would rather have him healthy in November than put him into service in week 6.
Who's the guy that receiving core? Who's the guy that you've been pleasantly surprised with?
Honestly, none of them. Robustelli might be was the dark horse coming out of camp. Everyone had high opinions of him, but last year we saw what Dante Myers could do before injury. We knew what Keyshawn Johnson was. Mitch Picton, fourth quarter Mitch. Like you know who you got with these guys. It's funny. We used to be so jealous of Calgary, and it was always next man up. Oh my God, Rambo's down. The next guy shows up. We don't have to. That's where we are now. Like this team is built for the next man up, and it's a good problem to have.
On the defensive side of the ball, we talked about this. Tavon Campbell didn't practice again today. Taking his spot at corner was Antoine Brooks Jr., who had the interception and jumped into the stands against the BC Lions. Now, Coach Mace gives us an update on Campbell.
Tomorrow will be the indicator for us. Just again, always trying to be smart with these guys. Long season, man. So we'll see how that goes.
There it is. To your point, we're early in July, and I know we're getting hyped here, and we are thinking we're not booking any holidays in November. No, I can't. I can't commit to that all inclusive. Can't do it. Because we see things. We see things. We are hoping, but rushing someone back, to your point on Emilus, doesn't make any sense. I think everybody out there will agree. Don't rush him back. Thing is, I like the Emilus. I didn't think it was that bad. Now I'm like, okay.
I still don't think it's that bad. I think it's similar to the situation with Trevor Harris last week. Like Trevor Harris, by all accounts, was probably good enough to go against BC. They just wanted to be safe. And same thing with this receiving core right now. I don't think there's any rush to rush a guy like Emilus into the roster. Let's give it another week.
Mace talking about Antoine Brooks Jr., who was on the practice roster last year, played in one game, then was put on the practice roster out of training camp this year.
He's got an infectious personality. Everybody loves him, man. He's constantly smiling. When you match that with his work ethic, what he shows out here on the field, even back to when he, is just on the PR, he's given us excellent looks. He had a hell of a camp. I think he led the team in interceptions, and certainly, he only took him a couple plays to get one in the game. So, he's a dangerous player, no doubt, and he had a hell of a game on special teams too. So he's proven to be a good player, really good player in college and in the pro level. Again, another guy who you're not shocked with the result because you see it every day.
You echo that?
Oh, 100%. Like, one of my new favorite things now after a Rider game is to wait for the game ball videos to come out or the coach's speech. And you could tell, like, the defensive game ball went to Campbell for his pick 6. But they mentioned Antoine Brooks, and the entire team was cheering him on. Like, this team is playing for each other right now, and especially with when a guy comes off the practice roster and gets his first interception, that's a hell of a thing.
Mace talks about what he thinks has kept Brooks motivated. after time in the NFL and UFL?
Just looking at the history of this league, there's guys, Mike Rose, he was on the practice roster for 2 full years before he saw a game, and look at the career he's had. So, when you look at the guys that we put out there and the success that they have, a lot of guys started in the same spot, and you just you bide your time, and it's not easy, but you just put your head down, you work, and you continue to learn when you're on the PR as if you're playing, and then when you do play, it allows you to make plays at a faster rate. So he's been excellent with that.
Next man up. We're next man up team. Now, I like it. Like you said, it used to be Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
Seen it in the NFL a number of times. It's like, how deep are where do they find these guys? We're kind of there now. Now, I don't want to get too crazy. We don't want everyone injured. The other thing too that's funny, how in a couple of weeks with the bye week, let's call it a couple of weeks, the Brett Lauder heat is off.
The Brett Lauder heat comes and goes every season. At this point, it's just mark it on your calendar with the Banjo Bowl and Labor Day Classic. He's going to have that bad game, and it's going to be a bad game. It's just not going to be, he's going to miss a kick here, he's going to miss a kick next week. He's going to go 1 for 5, including extra points. I wish he didn't, but that's, you kind of ride with the guy that got you there.
Special teams, though, has been one of the positives.
Oh, 100%. It's funny, everyone was talking about cutting Mario Alford at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, at some point we were also on the McRae looked good in the preseason. And
we were buying stock. Everyone was buying stock.
And don't get me wrong, he's cheaper, he's younger, and the way Mario ran to the sidelines a lot last year, everyone was commenting on it, but competition helps. Knowing you have a guy behind you pushing you helps, and Mario knows there's a guy behind him right now.
I wonder sometimes, and when we had Kent on Majuri, sometimes it's like, are there a couple new guys though? I'm not breaking down tape. I don't have that kind of time, but I'm like, are they getting that extra block early where he doesn't have to go out of bounds? Is he maybe, is there a couple of dogs there they always talk about that are giving him that block where he can now, okay, I'm going to take that seam, and maybe it's not always going to be 30, 40, 50 yards or whatever, but at least it's there now. Where last year, right, because it's special teams, you don't need even to play football. You can go play Madden and take a crappy team with special teams and then see how your returns work. If you don't have the guys that can set it up properly, where I would like to find out more on breaking down the tape, and it's like these two guys or this guy is really giving him that option, that lane, but around the league we're seeing return. Let's go $1 million, right? What was the name? Oh, I have it written down here.
Lyle. Oh, I can't remember.
Roy Leicester.
That's a Roy Leicester. I knew it was Lie something.
Roy's got a schmill in his genes, wherever he's from. Where's he from?
BC.
Do you remember? From British Columbia?
He was from BC.
Save on Foods, touchdown to win. Used to be the Safeway touchdown to win. I think there's another supermarket along the way that's been in there.
But it's like $25,000 over 40 years is how they do it, or whatever.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah, it's not a lump sum. It's one of those long-term
You don't have the
investments.
choice?
No, you don't. If you look at the bottom of the screen when they say it, it tells you what the pay period is.
Did you pause your PVR?
No, I've seen it. I expect it. After the Wendy's Kick for $1 Million guy hit it, and it wasn't a lump sum, I look for it all the time now. But the fact remains is with the riders, especially on the returns, what you're seeing this year compared to last year is a lot less penalties. So a lot of the ones that Alford busted last year got called back due to holding or blocks in the back. They're being they're not being diligent on their other penalties, but they're definitely on the special teams. They're being a lot better.
And then there was Gail St. Clair in 1999 that won it. That's it.
Well, I remember there was a Karen a few years ago. There was a Karen.
2015. We talked about it yesterday.
Yeah, Karen.
17.
Yeah, penalty brought it back.
Phantom call.
Phantom call brought it back, and I'm like, there's the guy from Safeway making the call. Throw the flag.
Because that's before Daryl.
Yeah.
Daryl's deals.
Yeah, Daryl was punching a wall this past weekend.
See, Daryl seems like a real good guy. Like, he does. Salt of the earth guy. Like, Daryl gets his khakis from Costco. But maybe that's competition. He's not the CEO. He's not that Galen Weston guy. He seems a little smug.
This could be a Ray Zielinski from Tommy Boy situation where he looks great on the commercials.
Yes.
But yeah, he's wearing the suits behind the stage. Yeah, behind the scenes. Yeah.
We just watched Tommy Boy, the family actually classic flick.
Underrated movie. Love that movie.
Yeah, but Daryl probably took it in stride. I would like to know it would be cool to find out over the years. How much does it cost? Because you buy insurance.
I was going to say,
it's like a hole-in-one.
Before people text in, there's insurance. Yeah. I understand that when I say Daryl's punching a wall. He actually wasn't.
It's not like Daryl's e-transferring Roy $25,000 every year.
Every 40 years.
Same email, same password. No, it's all the insurance. But hey, being in the marketing game, like my real job and all that promo has had legs. When you consider 1999 and then the flyby, it's either 2015 or 17, I forget and then 2025. That insurance company's made money too.
Oh, 100% they have.
Surprised though we haven't seen it more.
It's been close with guys like Alfred and Janarian Grant and
Willis J. Cox.
Yeah.
There's been good returners, no doubt, but the kick one, the Wendy's. I still remember the guy in the jersey and
shanks the first ones and nails the long one. And like, who would have guessed that?
I forgot about he shanked the first one.
Oh, he shanked all of them up until that one. He didn't make a single kick until that last one.
Didn't they have like a video, like a montage of him practicing before?
Yeah, they had to give him. I think they gave him an hour of training. I think with McCallum because they did in BC. I'm pretty sure he had like 2 hours of training, and it was timed by the insurance company too.
Oh yeah, it's like the hole-in-one at the golf thing, right? Where it's like you win $10,000. It's all insurance. Yeah. It's all insurance. It's all good. Prairie Land Rentals text line, Gary in Winnipeg. It is $1 million over 20 years, $50,000 per year tax free.
There you go. I thought it was 40 by 25, but maybe that was kick for $1 million.
Thanks, Gary. That's a lot of dough. That's a lot of trips to Silver Heights there in Winnipeg, down to the Forks. Take the missus out for a nice, or whoever, for a nice meal. Dan in Regina is getting in on the country. Can we go to break and we'll come back with a little Country Thunder talk? Because we're getting in on some people here or who we should see as headliners. This is a slippery slope. It is a Sports Cage. You're welcome to participate. 936-6262 Prairie Land Rentals text line. We'll go to break if you're watching on the stream, sportscage.com, or as always on the home of the Rider, 620 CKRM. Welcome back, Sports Cage. For Saskatchewan Lotteries, main fundraiser for sport culture and recreation in our province. Greg from the Piffles podcast is with me today. Colson, Ride and Gun. All right, let's get into this for a bit here. Country Thunder. We kind of talked. You bring Billy Joel. We got to keep everything within budget. And I think Sharky's going to want to talk about this on Thursday as well. You got to remember we don't have unlimited budget. So to bring in AC/DC, probably not going to happen.
What about a Poison?
Metallica. Poison, yes. Yeah. Are they touring still?
Bret Michaels was just
yeah. I heard he put on an awesome show. The clip that I saw on TV, he was getting the fans to sing a lot of it.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign. You're out of shape. No, you are.
Oh, no, I agree.
And if you have the anthems and you have those power ballads, let the crowd sing a bit, but there was a lot of pointing the mic out in the crowd. Am I wrong out there? And that, to me, that seems the lazy way out. A little out of shape. Poison, okay. What do people think? Greg thinks Poison could headline a rock night. Now, they're doing this Rockin' Thunder now. It's in Edmonton this week. Same group, Troy Volhoffer and his fantastic crew. What is the one night? The one night is headliner is Weezer.
Oh no, I'd like that.
I knew you were a Weezer guy.
Oh, big Teal album guy.
What's with these homies dissing my girl? Right? That's the only song I know.
That's Buddy Holly. Yes, that's early.
What was their other good one?
Oh God. Like I said, I've been listening.
You weren't even alive.
I've been listening a lot of their Teal album recently, which is a bunch of their covers. Like they did Mr. Brightside and all those ones. Those are fun.
Who is it? Bret Michaels is at Rockin' Thunder.
Yeah, Def Leppard. There you go.
Def Leppard, Joan Jett, Bret Michaels, Took, Queensryche, and then Saturday, Weezer, Stone Temple Pilots. Obviously not the lead original singer.
Obviously.
Like, who doesn't like Plush? That is a long song. I remember I used to work rock radio, and if you ever needed like a quick song, it was Blur.
Yep.
Because it's like super short. And then a nice long was Plush.
Plush is a good one.
It's like a 4-minute song, 5-minute song if you needed to run to the can or something. Sam Roberts Band, The Trues, Default. Big Default fan.
Well, okay, and that's what I was going to say. Well, Country Thunder, why not bring out Default, do Dallas Smith, Default, double bill?
Play it like Dallas does one night, Dallas Smith, and then another night, Default?
Why not?
I don't know. Is that the appetite?
Or do a 50-50. Like,
here's a band that I would love to see live. Okay? 90s rock.
Okay.
And I think they're touring too. Matchbox 20.
They would put on a good... Actually, last time they were in the area, I think it was Moose Jaw, if I remember correctly.
What?
Yeah, they played Moose Jaw not
before I lived here.
Oh, it was a while ago. It was a while ago. They played
Coulson, are they touring? Do you even know who they are? You ever heard of Matchbox 20 Coulson?
Well, Rob Thomas.
3 a.m. Push, If You're Gone.
I think I've heard of them. I can't say I know their songs.
Rob Thomas. He did that solo thing.
Yeah, because he did Smooth with Santana. That's a heck of a song.
Could Weezer headline one of the nights next year is the Rock Night? Is there enough appetite?
I believe so.
Yeah?
I believe there would be enough. And the thing about the festivals, it's not just a one-night thing. You got to realize it's the entire show, like the entire weekend.
Yeah. No.
So you don't need... Like, your main event is your Sunday night anyway. But yeah, Weezer could play Saturday easily.
Maybe Weezer could do Sunday. If you got two bangers Friday, Saturday of the country variety. Dan texted in, too bad they didn't get Shania Twain. She just played. Bruce Springsteen. Now, that might be out of budget.
That might be out of budget. It'd be an awesome show, but that'll be out of budget.
This is a good one. On the text line. Didn't even think of this band. I think they could headline the rock side Friday or Saturday, maybe even Sunday. They're playing Edmonton this summer. Creed. Oh, yeah. When you start going through the catalog, Creed's not a bad one. Perry and Assiniboia sing Bring Back Nickelback. You can't go. You got to give it a few years.
Soon, yeah.
Kent and Saskatoon. Joan Jett. Well, she's playing Edmonton. I don't think she's headlining.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe the beer gardens.
Yeah, some beer gardens. Maybe the side stage on the Rock Day.
You can think about it. We can come back to that. I'm waiting. Your phone's probably... I'm waiting for guys like Alex to be like, Spice Girls. No. But no on the Trooper. We don't need any more Trooper.
I've seen April Wine in every small town bar in Saskatchewan. Don't need to see them again.
April Wine Band as well. Harlequin's
in that list. Yep.
Helix.
On that list.
The one band that I don't mind, Stay in the Light, great tune. Honeymoon Suite.
I've seen them in like a Assiniboia.
Chilliwack.
Yeah,
they've been around. What's the Now You're Messing with a...
I don't know who sings that.
I drank vodka on their bus in Lloydminster.
I know them. But like...
They've been around. Here's one more for me. That I went to their concert once and said they were so good. And it's a little bit sappy. It's kind of some good 90s rock ballads. 3 Doors Down.
They'd put on a good show.
They would.
What about Deep Purple if we're going to go way back?
Deep Purple? What song did they sing?
Smoke on the Water?
Then what else? Did they just keep playing that? Did they play it at the beginning and then play it at the end?
You got to, because you got to know where in relation smoke is to water at all times.
I think more bands should do that. Text line, we got. I think some of these people are dead. REO Speedwagon. Yeah, that I would go see REO Speedwagon. Steely Dan, don't even know. U2, we can't afford that. That's not in the budget.
What about Jefferson Airplane?
Sting doing the Police.
That'd be good. I think it's out of budget though.
Don't stand so close to me. No, you would be surprised. I bet you Sting's looking for. I saw him in Vegas a few years ago.
Oh,
bright yellow suit. Brandon, White City text line. Rita McNeil. I think he meant Rita. He put Reba McNeil. Unless there's a cover.
Only if she's bringing the coal miners. If she's not bringing the coal miners, I don't care.
There's a cover band out there for her. And
the Men of the Deep. If she's not bringing the Men of the Deep, I don't care.
U2. No, Kelly, we can't afford U2. U2 cover band, maybe. We'd all love to see. Oh, Nazareth. That's
Nazareth.
Yes. Yeah, thanks, Rod from Moose Jaw. Oh, that would have bugged me. All right, we can continue this. Throw them in. I don't mind it. You want to say U2?
Just name a random U.S. city and they probably have a band. Like, where's Boston? Where's Chicago? Let's get those out there.
Kennebunkport. And we'll come back. We're going to talk to Tristan Frei, new assistant general manager from the Regina Pats. It's the Sports Cage for Saskatchewan Lotteries on 620 CKRM. Oh, we opened up a can of worms on the Prairie Land Rentals text line, and I love it. 936-6262. I can't wait to get to some of these that people are sending in. Who should play Country Thunder next year? On the rock side. Country, throw it at the country too. Don't forget the Saskatchewan Rough Rider Foundation 50-50. The early bird is Wednesday at 5 p.m., so you might as well get your 50-50 tickets before tomorrow at 5 p.m., because then you're entered into the early bird prize package. Speaking of music, AC/DC in Scotland includes 2 flights, Saskatchewan to Edinburgh. Those aren't directs, unless I did miss something. There's no, you got to go connector. But anyway, you end up in Edinburgh, 4 nights, tickets to AC/DC August 21st, tour from Edinburgh to Loch Ness, or a day trip of the Scottish Highlands, take your pick, round trip transfers, or you can take $8,550 cash. RP Ryan Pollock yesterday said he's taking the trip. What would you take?
That's quite the trip. I think I would take the trip.
I know. I think I'm trip. What if it was April wine in North Battleford?
I'm taking the $20 they're going to give me.
Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Perfect night for Western Pizza. Perfect pizza, generous amount of toppings. New assistant general manager of the Regina Pats joining us, Tristan Frei. Hey, Country Thunder, let's be honest. You're a young guy. You frequented the grounds out there. Favorite Country Thunder act that you remember?
Well, I think a core one for me would be Kenny Chesney. Something about, the cowboy hat, the cutoff shirt, the beach balls in the crowd. Core memory for me, I think, as a young guy out there. But I would say him or Morgan Wallen a couple years ago was also a really.
Those are good ones. Those are what about if you could bring in one rock band to play? Who would it be?
Oof. I mean, for me, it would be AC/DC. I know you guys were talking about it before. I went to AC/DC as a young kid when I was, I think, in grade 7 when they came to Regina with my mom.
Oh, jeez.
And it was unbelievable. It was the stage show that they had in terms of the props that they brought on stage and the long catwalk and seeing them perform was something that I'll have for life. So, yeah.
That's cool. All right. New role with the Regina Pats. We're into July here. Have you settled in? Are you busy? Are you kind of just learning the ropes? What has the last, couple weeks been like for you?
Yeah, I think a little bit of it all. I started my first, week was the import draft and thankful that Alan was staying on for that and helping assist me and Dale with that. So me and Alan were in the office here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and watching lots of video on Instat, calling agents, talking with players, trying to figure out who's going in the top 1, 2, 3 to give us a better idea. So that was good. And then now just same thing. We're meeting with those families of those players on Zooms, talking about our program, starting the process of bringing them over, and then in terms of just touching base with our own players, seeing how their summers are, if they need anything from us, just doing that stuff, and then getting ready for a fall camp. There's lots of admin that goes with fall camp and the forums and the medicals and all that stuff. So just preparing every single day and trying to get a little task done.
Tristan, with the news of Gavin McKenna getting that NIL deal with out down in the States,
is that alleged or is that legit?
I think it got basically confirmed today. Obviously, the landscape of the CHL is now going to be changed forever with star players. You've got a star player, a generational talent, if you will, with Maddox Schultz coming up. How are you guys going to tackle that going in the future?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is player treatment and treating our players the best that we can, giving them no reason to move on, and we want all our players to play their whole junior career with us. And I think we do a lot of amazing things with the Pats. I mean, I had the opportunity to play pro and with a few different teams, and I can utmost tell you that the Regina Pats are treated pro-like in terms of where we stay on the road, where we eat, the staff that we have around, the investment from our owner. That's the biggest thing for us, is providing our players with the resources they need, the development they need, and the player treatment that for me goes along with that.
You played pro in Guildford in Britain. I had a hot dog and a few pints at that rink, and there's a swimming pool in it. Ooh. Just reeks of chlorine. Great barn though. Good times there. What a great spot to play hockey, by the way. I'd mentioned this at the presser to Dale, but it is changing probably by the week, by the month here, and the American kids now. Right? Like there's got to be such a focus on these because they're going to want to come up, and maybe it's only a year or two. They're going to want to explore major junior in Canada.
Yeah, for sure. And we're already seeing that interest. We have way more USA kids coming to our fall camp than I think ever before. We've made an investment to have, scouts down there now. We have 2 guys that are down there, and they're doing a really good job at, keeping us informed of the young players that want to come up. And we're actively throughout the year listing players that they feel should be on our 50-man list. So, I think it's a changing landscape both ways of we have young elite USA players that want to come play for us, and before the change, a lot of them were hesitant of losing their scholarship. So I think it's great for the league. It's going to make our league better in terms of that way. So I would agree with that.
Has before Al left, did what kind of words of advice did he give to you? Did he maybe say, hey, you look like one of the players, so when you talk to the families, it's nice to have that younger, it is though, right? Like Dale, the legend, Al, smart, and then you're coming in, you're a young guy, you fit in, and you could bridge that gap and talk about probably a lot of the lingo that the kids are going with.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not far removed from playing. I'm only 3 years out that I last played my game, so I understand what these guys are going through. I've been a guy, that's been, a top 6 player. I've been a bottom 6 player. I've been out of the lineup. I've been hurt before. I've kind of been it all. So when our players are going through that, I feel like I can relate to them, and I understand what they're going through. And I think a lot of people have played hockey, but as you get further removed from it, you just forget how that feels. But for me, I'm kind of fresh. So for now, I would like to keep giving that experience and my advice to them. But, Alan moving on, it's what an amazing mentor that I've had in terms of him. I think I said in my speech, he allowed me to be by his side for absolutely everything in terms of ownership meetings and everything. I couldn't have asked for a more amazing person to learn from, and now I get to work extremely close with Dale, and 2 people that you talk about of hockey minds. I'm very, very privileged as a young man.
And you said you you can deal with the kids because you aren't that far removed. So what is that one piece of advice you're going to give a new kid coming in, making his pro journey for the first time?
I think honestly, the biggest thing for me is controlling your work ethic, your attitude, and being a good teammate. I think if you can do those three things, you're gonna have a career in hockey. The biggest thing that I took, being a player, was you get to choose your attitude every single day. There's going to be days where it's going to be hard. You're going to be hurt. You're going to be sore. Maybe you're not going to be in the lineup, or maybe you're not going to be where you want to be in the lineup. And for me, it's how do you choose that attitude, right? So, I think I wasn't the best player, but I felt like I worked extremely hard and I was a good teammate. And I feel like teams wanted me around because of that. And I was happy being a top 6 guy or a 13th forward. And if you can embrace that, you're going to have a career.
I would like to be the 13th forward in Guildford because I would just stay at the pub. I'd stay at the town. I'm good. I'm not playing tonight. I'm good. No, in all seriousness. So we got about 30 seconds left. Tristan Frei joining us here, new assistant general manager with Regina Pats. You talked about Al, you talked about Dale. I got to ask, what's one thing that you learned from Absolute Beauty, good friend of mine, Trevor Blevins in Melfort, playing for him?
Yeah, I mean, all of that. I mean, he helped shape who I am as a person, and I still go up and see him every single summer. It's so hard to explain the impact that a coach had on me, but just an amazing person. And I'm so grateful that a bunch of other players get to experience who he is and what he's done in that community. So a piece of advice, just work your tail off, and that's what his teams do.
Great to talk to you. We'll have to do this again. If you're going to Country Thunder, have fun. Shoot me a message. The Kenny Chesney, that was a good one too. I totally forgot about that. Tristan, best of luck, and we'll catch up here in a month or so.
Thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate it.
Right on. Regina Pats assistant GM Tristan Frei. Looks like one of the players.
I feel a million years old after talking about AC/DC. He was in grade 7. My Lord.
It's good times. It is the Sports Cage. We are streaming at sportscage.com and on the home of the Regina Pats 620 CKRM. Rider news today. Kind of a slow day at practice. Devon Campbell, though, did not practice. Antoine Brooks Jr. taking his spot. Rider stamps Friday, 7 p.m. Western Canadian Baseball League. Regina dumped Weyburn last night. They host Swift Current tonight, 7 p.m. at Curry Field. Elsewhere around the area, Moose Jaw travels into Saskatoon. Weyburn's in Medicine Hat. Blue Jays, 8-4 win over the White Sox, 9 in a row. They're 3.5 up on the Yankees in the AL East. Hard to believe. They're in Chicago for Game 2 tonight. Our Pump Jack Trivia is coming up. Blue Jay baseball fans, you want to pay attention to that. Chance to win $50 to Pump Jacks in Hour 2. And Saskatchewan Roughriders legend Brendan Labatt involved in a rollover at the Estevan Motor Speedway. You want to watch the video and get a story, it's at sportscage.com. That is your sports ticker in Hour 1 for Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. Keeping you in hot and soft water, call on Reliance. Hour 2, we're going to get through some of these texts about Country Thunder and acts you want to see. Arash Madani, Pump Jack Trivia. Get your dialing fingers ready, and a whole lot more. It's a Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com. Welcome back. The Deuce. Hour 2 here on the program. Greg's with me from Piffle Podcast. Colson's in the pocket, and it is for Saskatchewan Lotteries. Prairie Land Rentals text line is hot. We opened up a can of worms. Okay, first off, people are driving home. Rider news today. Tavon Campbell didn't practice again, taking a spot. At corner was Antoine Brooks Jr., Samuel Emelis, not full.
Next man up.
Who else? Thomas Bertrand Houdon did not participate again in practice. That's about it. Covering on that front. So we are next man up. And then we got into music chatter again, Greg and I, and Country Thunder and Def Leppard. Like, who doesn't want to see some Def Leppard? Everybody likes at least one Def Leppard song. Everybody in the world. North America. One Def Leppard song. So then we had, who was the band that you said? Not April Wine.
Trooper, Harlequin.
Those are no-goes.
No-goes.
I said Matchbox 20 would be nice. Rock next year headline. How about this? How about this guy? I think this guy, and he could be on the radar. Sammy Hagar.
He's just a gigolo.
That's David Lee Roth.
Oh, yes, sorry. Sammy Hagar. Hey, where's David Lee Roth?
See, I
get all those hair guys mixed up. I'm sorry, I do. Before my generation.
I'm in the minority when I say I like Van Halen. I like the Sammy Hagar stuff more.
Yeah.
Than David Lee Roth. Like Balance, great album. We had so I got to get to some of these text messages, and I know Arash is probably listening. So, music festival, Arash, who your favorites? We'll let you go. 3 Days Grace.
Don't hate that.
Yeah, could that headline though? Could that head? Gary, how about Supertramp or Three Dog Night? Maybe in the bar. Not headlining, but okay, thanks for the text. Don't worry about it. Dolly Parton and the Guess Who and Bryan Adams. Bryan Adams. There's a guy that could headline a Sunday night.
Puts on a good show. Seen it.
Isn't he coming back here soon?
Yes. Or was he already here? I can't remember, but I saw his acoustic set a few years ago. Really, really good.
Oh, where was that at?
Center of the Arts.
Really?
Yes.
Heaven. That's a good. Jason Aldean does Heaven, but I don't think he does it on this set list. Okay.
Bryan Adams, September 28th at the Brandt Center.
There you go.
Is this Beaster? This guy and I would get along. We'd get some drinking done. Give me Blackhawk, Restless Heart, Travis Tritt, and Carrie Underwood as a Sunday closer. As for Rock, Kid Rock would be a perfect fit. Kid Rock, actually, that probably on the radar. Probably in the budget. Blackhawk, Restless Heart, Travis Tritt. Carrie Underwood, love her, beautiful lady. But you give me those other three, Beaster, and we're good to go. We got lots of U2 fans. Oh, and then Brandon, Reba McNeil is allegedly Rita's sister, younger sister. So that's who he wants to bring in.
She comes in with the Men of the Not So Deep, apparently.
There's Tina from Saskatoon, AC/DC, good one. I don't know if it's in the budget. Logan would like Metallica. Wish not in the budget, although Troy, his company, does all the staging for Metallica. Kirk likes my Matchbox 20. You start going through and especially if you graduated high school anytime in the 90s.
Is Everclear still touring?
But how many songs do they really have? I think Weezer would be better than... Okay, there's a question. Weezer or Everclear? Who would you rather have?
I've already seen Everclear, and it was an awesome show.
Was it?
It was a great show.
Santa Monica?
Yep, Santa Monica.
That's the only one I know.
Wonderful. All those ones, yeah.
How about Oasis? I think they are so overrated. All I get on social media is this Oasis, and I'm like, these guys had like 3 songs. Sorry if I'm offending anybody out there. What is with my brother-in-law wanted to go to Ireland to see Oasis, and I'm like, what?
Because you got to see them while you can, because they'll be fighting within 2 weeks anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I could give a rip. I liked. What was there one?
Wonderwall.
No, the other one.
Don't Look Back in Anger.
Yes, good tune. That's where it ends with me. I could throw that CD on. I would rather go see Bryan Adams at the Brandt Center than Oasis in Dublin or wherever they're. I don't get it.
What about April Wine at the corner bar?
April Wine outside the Dudney liquor store?
Yeah.
Acoustic? Yes. I'll take that. Let's go talk to Arash.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
See, Arash, this would have been a really good weekend for you to come to town, because not only do you have the Rider game Friday night, I could have taken you out to Country Thunder out in the valley, and we would have got a little cowboy on, and then Def Leppard. What's your favorite Def Leppard song?
I don't know. I was thinking, first, let me just get to this. I actually went in late February, early March, and I'm hoping to go again later this month. You know who's made a renaissance on their 30th anniversary doing a tour?
Give me a hint.
Canadian band. Yeah, they're a little clumsy. They can be up late at night or early in the morning around 4 a.m.
Our Lady Peace?
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's
Never
a good
seen
one.
them. Never seen them live.
Weren't they here? Didn't they open up Mosaic Stadium?
They're here every third year, and I miss them every time they're here.
They're great. It's an awesome live show.
Yeah. Okay. We're same demographic. What about my Matchbox 20 idea?
Oh, man.
That's a good album. That first album?
I have not heard a Matchbox 20. I'm just going through it. Oh, man. Look at some of these tracks.
Push, 3 a.m.
Yeah.
The one, there's so many. Like, Long Day could be the most underrated rock song of the 90s.
You might be the only person I've ever known who doesn't like Oasis.
I didn't say I didn't like them. I'm not traveling anywhere to see them. Oasis plays Connexus Arts Center? Maybe. Who's opening? That's where I'm at with Oasis. Like, I might not even go to near Wascana. It's a 10-minute drive from my house to see them. I could be wrong.
The year I worked in Winnipeg, 2008, Oasis came Labor Day Monday, and I'm at the show. It was actually a really good show. I couldn't believe Oasis came to Winnipeg. And it's 3/4 of the way through the show, and my phone starts buzzing. It's the GM, it's the coach, it's the team president. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? Charles Roberts, we're trading Charles to the BC Lions. I'm like, oh, God, I better sober up quick. We got some work to do.
Did you stay for the full show? Was it a good show?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. This is before social media, so we're able to do
Silver Heights after for a pint and some ribs?
That was only after games.
Well, we could go on in this music thing for forever. Hey, I got trivia coming up. Our new feature here. It's for Pump Jack's Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. It's in about 50 minutes time. It's going to be a baseball question because I'm a huge baseball guy.
Huge baseball guy.
But I'm watching games. You find my kids come into the sunroom last night. I'm reclined. What are you watching? They're baseball. And I'm like, I'm kind of getting this vibe. Hottest team in the world, Arash.
Well, they are. And they're doing it in a whole bunch of different ways. And it's crazy to think that not that long ago, they were 2 games below 500 and battling for last in the division. Now they are far and away the leaders in the American League East. And they're just mashing the baseball. Barney, and I'm just going to be honest with you, I don't know how they're doing it. But there's not a ton to be worried about in the entire American League. So when you build a cushion like this right now, the inevitable slump that will come, you're going to be able to withstand it because you're whatever you are now, 13, 14 games above 500.
That's what I was going to ask. Do they have enough credits in the till?
Yeah. They also have a lot of bats. Like, I don't know what's happened to George Springer. Like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't happen in baseball. That somebody for 3 years doesn't really do much. He's in his mid-30s, and now over the last couple of weeks, he just cannot miss. For those watching the stream, the Grand Slam on Canada Day, but he has just been over and over clutch in the biggest of moments. Sometimes these things just happen in sports where somebody hits lightning in a bottle and it just elevates and lifts everybody else. And it seems like Springer's doing that. Like, it's not Vlad. Yeah, Bichette hit one the other day to win it for them. It's not Vlad. It's not Bo. It's Springer, it's Barger, it's everybody on a different night in extras, bullpen guys giving them 2 clean innings. All the stars are kind of aligning that put them in a really good spot. Look, it's only July, second week of July, but they're just in a good spot right now, and that's where you want to be.
I was, I don't know how to word this without, I'm not being a jerk or anything here. I am
That's the first.
I am shocked. Vlad still talks through a translator. Like, I would have thought at some
Time to time.
point. Oh, really? Is that how it works? Because you know him, you've covered it. I was surprised.
There are some walk-off interviews at the Dome that he's speaking in English. I think it just depends on the nature of the conversation, the nature of the interview, and his comfort level, what the topic is, et cetera, et cetera. I'll be honest with you guys. I've lived in this market now for 16 years in Toronto, and there hasn't been, since Sundin, a Maple Leaf this beloved. The Raptors are a different story because they won a championship. The way people talk about Lowry is just a little different. But Vlad's right there in, like, it's Bautista, it's Vlad, it's Sundin, and it's Kyle Lowry, and even DeMar DeRozan in, like, the echelon of, like, loved athletes in this city.
Nick Arbuckle. I feel bad for the guy.
Nick Arbuckle.
Well, while we're here, let's flip over to the CFL. Are the Red Blacks, are they in trouble? Or is it too early? That East seems wide open, but they're falling fast.
I don't know, Greg. Like, how do they get out of this? Like, I watched the game the other night, and then at halftime I went to my email and I looked at the actual game day roster. And there are a lot of things that people are going to say over the next little while. And the kiss of death can often be the, like, late July bye week, and Ottawa has one in 2 weeks. So you're 1-4, you could be 2-5 or 1-6 with back-to-back against the Ticats coming up. But, you know, there are going to be people asking about, we got to make changes, something's got to happen, etc. But I looked at that game day roster they had with the injury, and I'm like, everybody's got injuries, but who are the best three coaches in the league right now? What, O'Shea, Dinwiddie, and Moss? Like, put Bill Belichick or Andy Reid with that roster, and that record's going to be 1-4 right now. I don't know what the solution is in the immediate right now, but Ottawa just keeps doing the same things over and over again as an organization and expecting a different result. And the last time I checked, I know what that's the definition of.
Okay, let's pretend we're doing this interview on Saturday. Okay. And I say, who is more desperate? Who needs this game more, Edmonton or Ottawa? Who would you have said?
Ottawa.
See, I would have said
no
Edmonton.
Question. Yeah, no, to me it's no question because, look, you got a coach who's been there for a little while now, a GM who's been there for a little while now, Edmonton's first-year head coach, first-year GM, kind of rebuild mode, et cetera, et cetera. I'm really worried about this Red Blacks team, and it goes back to last year. Barney, I don't know if you remember, in early mid-September last year, I came on the show and I'm like, I don't think these guys are winning another game the rest of the season. And outside of a meaningless game at the end of the season, it literally had no meaning on the standings. They were 1-6 to end the year, and then they gave up more than 50 points in a playoff game. And so what do they decide to do? They effectively decide to run basically most of it back, except on defense, they're going to get younger. I just haven't understood what's gone on there. Their offensive line injuries are a big factor. I get it. Geno Lewis has been okay, I guess. Drew Brown, what is he? I know he's banged up. I don't know. It's not pretty there.
Okay, I'm going to call myself out and you at the same time. Both you and I are on Calgary being a bad team this year. You said they're a last place team. They're now 3-1. What's going on? Because I expected them to be terrible too.
Terrible. I thought they'd be awful, and they're not. I think it's two things. One, their defense is absolutely making plays, like big plays. And Zach, I don't know if Zach was seeing ghosts. I don't know what happened exactly there on the 2 pick sixes. Moncrief's a heck of a player. But look, to me, and this is ridiculous to even bring this up at this point of the season. We're not even a third in. So not the MOP favorite, but the most impactful player in the league this season is Vernon Adams Jr. You know, people can look at Lawler and 200-plus yards receiving, et cetera, et cetera. Hamilton was throwing the ball well last year anyway. They just added more. Calgary has been dreadful for a while. Calgary hasn't had a franchise quarterback since peak Bo, and that was a couple of years before COVID. Vernon Adams has come in there, added a dimension, a dynamic, a presence, an ability that they haven't had in a long time. And elite quarterback play wins. And right now, as we sit here, I know Bo, had a perfect quarterback rating and he's doing whatever he's doing. There is not a more impactful player in the league right now, and it's only July 8th, than Vernon Adams Jr. And he's taken a team that, in a lot of ways, should and could be 1-3, maybe even 0-4. They're 3-1 right now, and it's in large part thanks to him.
You got to put your flat, your condo, your house, whatever it is, on the line. I had this conversation with Luke yesterday, so I'm getting your take on it.
Yeah.
Who are you taking? Winnipeg or Calgary? Who's the better football team, really?
In a one game in November, or just
one game off-site. It could be. It could happen again next week.
Well, if I brought up my phone right now, you'd see exactly why I'm betting live tennis this week to try and get back what went sideways on Thursday night. By the way, you want to know like the worst possible, not even a beat. It's almost worse than a beat. Okay. Yesterday, I jump on Grigor Dimitrov to beat Yannick Sinner. Dimitrov wins the first set. I double up on Dimitrov. Wins the second set. Serving 2-all in the third, and he blows his pec, and the bet's canceled. This guy was about to cash plus 700 and plus 300. Instead, I just get my money back. And that was all to break even, because I was all in on the Bombers taking Calgary to the woodshed. Instead, it was the other way around.
Speaking of lines and betting, Stamps Riders, perfect night in Saskatchewan. Friday night. Weather.
Yep.
Wind. Null. 51.5. Like, how hard should I hammer that over?
I know.
Or am I missing something?
I don't think you are. If Edmonton, Ottawa handsomely went over, Calgary, Sask should as well. I am very intrigued to see what Mace is going to have cooked up for Vernon. I think there's going to be a whole bunch of exotic looks. I think there's going to be a bunch of stuff they're going to do in practice this week that Adams hasn't seen before. I think there's going to be pressure coming from different places. I think they're going to try and make him think he's seeing something that he's not. Again, it's the second week of July. Nobody's winning anything this week. Certainly not a ridiculous Stampede Bowl or whatever the heck that was. But
don't say that to Luke Mullender. He thinks that was one of the greatest things. I kind of don't mind it because it's got that college, like the Iron Bowl or the chopstick thing, whatever teams play for.
But it can't be week 4, Barney. Like, it's got to,
coincides with the Stampede, though, man.
I guess.
Look at this. Look at this celebration. Now, do you know about this? And maybe you're super tight with the. You know more about the league than I do. There's no doubt about it. I saw this Victory Monday, 37% off tickets to the next game, Throwback Thursday, Calgary, Montreal. Why would the Stamps be offering a discount after the win, Victory Monday, so they win? And why 37? I know, but why 37%? Is there a significant number to 37 that I'm missing here? I know 88's a big number in Calgary.
What was the score of the game?
Well, it was
30. Was it 36 or 37?
37-16.
There you go.
Oh, so if they win and whatever points they score,
Put up 50 points. Everyone's there cheering for 50 points.
That's why he's here. Not only for his 80s and rock music savvy.
Okay,
Good call.
Here's a betting line I want for Friday.
Okay.
If there's going to be a fake, you got McGarry versus Craig Dickinson coming back. One of them is going to do something stupid just to show who's got the bigger Spaldings.
I don't even know if that would be a prop anywhere. Would it?
There'd have to be a prop somewhere. There's got to be some Eastern European one that'll take that action.
Oh, the former Yugoslavia. I don't have any credits left over there. No, but the other bet that I've
have any offspring over there, Barney?
that I don't know. Is first half rider lines. That's something that I've been playing with fire, but I've been winning it. But I don't know. I threw that at the 51.5. Do you think over?
I think that could be a good over.
It's gotta be.
I like the over too, especially weather going to be nice, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. I think both of these offenses are rolling right now. And look, I get the 37 points. Obviously, 2 pick sixes played a part in that. I guess I'm calling out Ottawa for definition of insanity. I think I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to bet against Calgary this week, expecting a different result, and I think I'm going to be right about it.
-5, Saski. I'll stay at that over under, I think. Let's talk about this. Call it what I like. I think you like brouhaha. Greg's more of a skirmish guy.
I like Donnybrook, actually. Donnybrook is where I would have went with it.
I like throw down, old school. But what's going on? Can we have more of that? Can we have more of those fights post game, like in Montreal? Like when the Argos come here after the cheap shot. Can we have more? Can we just let them go? Take that. I like that they have the helmets off. Football players sometimes tend to keep the bonnet buttoned up tight. I like that there was no lids.
So I don't know if you noticed this. Jason Moss was doing his post-game interview with RDS, and then that broke out, and he ran away from the interview. And then the guy involved in the middle of it from BC was like, no, I was just talking to my buddy who I knew from before about getting post-game passes, et cetera, et cetera. This reminded me of the whole John Tortorella going down the Calgary Flames hallway and, Brian McGrattan waiting for him there with a couple of shoves. I don't know. I've been around pro sports a long time. I think there's one rule of thumb. You don't go in the other team's locker room unless you're looking for all hell to break loose. And guess what happened? All hell broke loose. So what did you think was going to happen when you did that? Especially when you've just won on a walk-off kick.
What?
In their building.
How did that happen again? I'm just thinking about football brouhahas. When Rocket Ishmael jumped on that guy's head. Remember that one? There was a fight. Guys, they're fighting. One guy was on the ground, and then the Rocket, basically tried to 2-foot, not just 1 foot, a 2-foot jump onto the guy's head. He was wearing his helmet, but still,
right.
SportsCage Nation, you got to help me on that. Have I been hit in the head too many times? I think that happened.
Well, yes, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Let's go back to the ski biscuit concussion. But no, it was Rocket Ishmael, and he tried to jump on someone's head. I'm almost playing.
What do we think now? To me, it's been a pretty smooth sailing start to Stu Johnston's run as commissioner. And it's not even a crisis. This is the first quote unquote thing that Stu is going to have to deal with as commissioner. Is any of this suspension worthy, or is it a max fine offense?
With punches thrown, I think you got to go suspension.
See, Stu could be a real badass and just let it go. Stu, is this a Stu's CFL? Maybe he'll be chomping on a toothpick with a leather coat. Dart.
I remember Adriano Belli playing for the Argos, who had won a Grey Cup with Montreal. He's walking into the Dome for a game against the Als. He's like, to hell with it. Walks right into the visitors' locker room before the game and starts MFing his buddy Calvillo and MFing his buddy Brian Chu and some expletives and throws a table and blah, blah, blah. And then he just walks right out and calmly walks into the Argos' locker rooms and say, "What's up, boys?" Like nothing even happened.
That's a cowboy.
Yeah,
right there.
And he got suspended a game or two for that, I think.
You go on too many boys' trips with that guy, though, you're getting your face rearranged. You're running into the wrong guys at some point. All right.
And your liver rearranged.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll keep you updated. We get to talk on Thursday, so get some more. We're gonna have some music stuff for you on Thursday. Okay. Keep listening to the program because we got the trivia coming up here right away. We'll see how our SportsCage listeners are up to date on their baseball for a chance to win $50 to Pump Jack's Cathedral. Okay, talk to you Thursday, buddy.
See you guys.
That is Coast to Coast with Arash Madani for Brian Golly and Smart Investing Solutions. When we come back, start calling now, Colson saying 936-6262, 1-866-767-0620. We're going to have Clutch Performer, and then we're going to play Pump Jack Cathedral Trivia. It's a SportsCage, streaming at sportscage.com. Around the horn here, we're going to do Clutch Performer. My Toronto Blue Jays again last night. I don't want to single anyone out. Vladimir Guerrero's translator. That's how much I watched the Blue Jays. I was watching last night. Post-game, I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Blue Jays are rolling. Who would you go with?
I'm going with Gavin McKenna's agent. Just confirmed by TSN about 5 minutes ago, he is going to Penn State. And by all accounts, he's getting anywhere between $700,000 to $750,000. So for at least one season of hockey, not bad.
Oh, mama. Oh, my. Would the agent get any of that, though, that Noma? That's like in the NCAA.
It's allowed on the rules.
Colson, what do you got?
I'm going to have to give mine to Bennett. My brother turns 26 today.
Right on.
Pretty simple.
What's Bennett do?
He is finishing up school, but he's going to be a gym teacher.
Phys ed?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Right now he's doing, he's a care worker with Ranch Airlo, is his in the middle.
That's a good gig.
Yeah.
He's making a difference. So are you.
How are his dodgeball skills?
He is definitely the most competitive and athletic in my family, I would say. Some of my other brothers would contest that. Yeah. See, there's 6 boys and 1 girl in that house growing up. It's competitive.
We called it King's Court in elementary school at our school instead of dodgeball. I just thought about that. I'm like, I never could figure out why do you guys ever heard of it? King's Court? Same thing as dodgeball?
I think we played King's Court, but I just remember it called dodgeball.
I thought it was the same, and maybe there's some rules that are different.
That's my version of it. Like, there's dodgeball, and then King's Court is like, if you win, you stay. And that can be for other sports, too. If you're playing basketball, like 2-on-2, 3-on-3, or whatever.
Winner stays?
Yeah, that's King's Court us.
Yeah, see that. Yeah, no, this was King's Court. It was exact the same as dodgeball. Man, those were good times, though, hey? But then there was always the kid that was clueless, and that if it was volleyball or whatever you were throwing, man, to the nurse's office.
I can just smell them right now.
Yeah,
those rhino skin balls.
Clutch Performer for Nick Service in Emerald Park, your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. You could smell them if you need to anything of those Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Some of these text messages. Okay, get this one. Chris Hubbard in Regina. The victim was Calgary's Andy McVeigh. He fell down during a brouhaha. Rocket stomped his helmeted head once. There it is. That's another Clutch Performer right there for Nick's Service. Chris Hubbard figuring that. See, I wasn't thinking or seeing things. That really did happen. Okay. This is a monumental part of the program. It's our first ever Pump Jacks Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse trivia here on the Sports Cage. Every Tuesday we're going to do it. They got a large selection of draft beer, food, and drink specials. Kids are allowed until 8. They're at the corner of Albert and 13th. Great. I heard it's an unbelievable spot before and after a Rider game. Here in that.
I haven't been in since they changed names, but it's always a good spot.
pumpjackscathedral.ca if you want to find out more. Live entertainment every weekend. April wine.
Yeah, there you go. Harlequin. See you there soon.
Could be in. All right. So it's trivia. How it works, we take a caller. They have 10 seconds to answer this question. If they get it wrong, they still walk away with a lunch from Pump Jacks Cathedral, a lunch on a Monday or Tuesday. If they win it, $50 to Pump Jacks Cathedral Saloon. If they don't get it, that continues to next Tuesday. It's going to be for $100. And then we keep going up and up. Okay, so let's go to the phone lines. Who do we got here, Colson?
Brett in Regina.
All right. Brett, you ready to do this?
Yeah, I'm here. Hey, how's it going?
Good. You're the inaugural. This is... Hey.
Yes, got the pressure on me here.
They'll be talking about this one for years, buddy.
Yeah, big pressure.
All right. Here it is. You're going to have 10 seconds once I finish the question.
Okay.
The Jays have won 9 in a row. What is the franchise record for consecutive wins?
For the Blue Jays?
Yes.
I believe it's 15.
11 games.
Ooh.
They've done it 5 times. I was going to give you a hint.
Sorry, buddy.
Hey, you're walking. You still get a free lunch. Colson's going to take down all your information. And yeah, you're walking away with a free lunch from Pump Jacks Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse, corner of Albert and 13th in Regina. Live entertainment on the weekends. Kids allowed until 8 o'clock before the game or after the game this Friday. That place will be hopping. Do you know the answer to that?
I thought it was 10, but yeah, 11 makes sense.
They've done it 5 times.
I think his dog was trying to give him the hint by barking.
I think we should have got the name of his dog.
Count the barks next time.
I always love that. The one like I said, they've done it 11 games 5 times. The one that really threw me for a loop, I could have made this more difficult. It's in 2015. They did it twice.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I don't remember that. 2015 is obviously a blur in my brain. Kids were young, though. We were running around. Your kids were...
yeah, Connor was a baby then, so It was a lot of time watching. I think that's probably the most ball I've watched in a long time.
So next Tuesday, Brett's walking away with a lunch on a Monday and Tuesday from Pump Jacks Cathedral. Next Tuesday, we're playing for $100. Woohoo! Figure out the question. I'm going to have to make it a little more difficult since we're playing for a Hyundai. That's a lot of fun. Let's go to a quick break. We are streaming at sportscage.com. We're on the home of Trivia on Tuesday, 620 CKRM. Welcome back to the Sports Cage on this Tuesday for Saskatchewan Lotteries, the main fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation in our province. Prairie Land Rentals text line is open, 306-936-6262. Prairie Land Rentals, skid steers, welders, whatever you need for that summer job, they can rent it to you, right down to power tools, rakes, anything you need. Some tough news in the hockey community on Friday, July 4th, as we found out that former Notre Dame Hound, Regina Pat from Nipawin, Saskatchewan, Lyndon Byers passed away at the age of 61. Joining us on the Western Pizza guest hotline to talk about his former friend and teammate and combatant is Troy Volhoffer. Troy, some tough news for you, anyone that was close with Lyndon Byers on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, one thing to be said, the Pats alumni have a great camaraderie, and we were all linked on text for years. And to lose Lyndon is a big loss. He's a great guy. He's a big personality. He was a fun guy. He loved life, and I go way back with him. I go back to when I was in Boston's training camp, and I was getting to the end, and I was a free agent without a contract, and Nevin Markworth got me the tryout, and I just finished my 4 years at Pittsburgh, and and the trainers know who's getting sent down, but the trainers know everything. And I got a whisper in my ear, you got to do something. It's the last inter-squad game. And I got hacked across my wrist, and I just turned around, dropped my gloves, and started punching this guy. And by the time, and I wasn't a tough guy, and I lost a lot of fights, and my face is pretty much, a trophy of my lack of fighting skill. But in this particular instance, I had the guy down, and I'm beating him up, and I'm going to go and look down, and it's Ray Bork, and I'm like, oh my God. So I just fought the franchise. Next, I have to fight Lyndon, and Lyndon and I are, super tight buddies, and he goes, just getting close with me, I was punched in the back of the helmet. That was perfect. Anyways.
Oh man,
we're gonna miss him. He was a great guy, so we're gonna miss him.
That's a great story, because you also go back like the high school, and he was at Notre Dame, and you're the Regina guy. Like you guys go back.
Yeah, we sure do. We went way back, and it's always tough, I mean, he's a young guy. I mean, he's only 61 years old or 60 or whatever he was, and it's when you lose someone at that age, it's kind of you look in the mirror a little bit, right? So I'm sure he would love for everyone to live for the living. So let's do that and carry on.
Yeah, just 61 years old was Lyndon Byers, 79, 80, 81 with the Notre Dame Hounds and the Regina Pats for 3 seasons. Gets in with the Boston Bruins. He was round 2, 39th overall, 1982 draft to the Boston Bruins. So, again, passes away at the young age of 61. It is the Sports Cage. We are streaming at the SportsCage.com. And as always, we're on the home of sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM. From rider practice today, Tavon Campbell not participating. They're going to be reevaluated tomorrow. WCBL tonight. Regina Red Sox hosting Swift Current, 7 p.m. at Currie. They dumped Weyburn last night. Moose Jaw's in Saskatoon. Blue Jays, 9 in a row, taking on Chicago, game 2 of that series tonight. And then more Rider. This is crazy. Rider news. Rider legend Brendan Labatt involved in a rollover at the Estevan Motor Speedway. Video and the story is at sportscage.com. That's the ticker in hour 2 for Extreme Hockey and Sport, the local shop. Whatever your sport is this summer, they can get you going. And they do have the Bauer Flylight gear, skate sticks, everything coming in. Extreme Hockey and Sport, always supporting local in and around Regina. We got some text messages here on the Country Thunder and the music thing, but let's go out and talk to Brian Raymond right now from Flowing Springs Golf Course. Brian, this is like a double whammy for you, because you got people coming into town for the Rider game, people coming in for Country Thunder, and I don't know how many people at Country Thunder like to maybe sneak out for an early morning round after a night of giving her, but it's right up the road to come to Flowing Springs.
You're right. Not very far away from Craven, that's for sure. And, every year we do get some folks who bring their golf clubs, and they're looking for something, other than what people normally do at Craven during the day, and they won't bring their golf clubs, and they come and play golf. And if you are coming into town for either the Rider game or for Craven or for, Country Thunder, by all means, give us a call. We'll get you out on the golf course. And, the golf course is in fantastic shape. This heat and a little bit of rain that we've had has just been, it's been wonderful.
The other thing, too, people are saying, well, that might not be a bad idea. Get out of the campsite, maybe go have a coffee and play some golf or a beer and clam, because you're licensed there too. You have rentals in the whole shooting match there too, Brian.
That's absolutely true. You can rent golf clubs here. We have a nice couple, quite a few actually rentals. And if you don't have your sticks, come and play golf anyways. We can help you out there. And if you don't have a lot of time, just one of the things that people maybe don't realize or forget is that we do have a 9-hole rate that's available all day. It's only $46.75 to come out and play 9 holes.
Yeah, easy golf course to walk. Yep. Like you said, it's in great shape. Now, beyond the weekend and people coming in, let's give a shout out to the specials around the board.
Okay, Monday and Wednesday, of course, tomorrow's Wednesday. Women and seniors are only $39 to play. Every day after 8 o'clock, or after 3 o'clock, it's $38. After 6 o'clock, it's $22.
Right on. And how do they make booking?
Give us a call at 306-543-5050, and you can book online at flowingspringsgolf.com.
Right on, Brian. I'll talk to you on Thursday.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Flowing Springs. Country Thunder, Craven. Roscoe's being funny in Kindersley on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. Walter Ostenak, he wants to see at Country Thunder. Is Walter still around? Is he still with us? Who was it here? Somebody liked my Sammy Hagar idea. Brody. Sammy Hagar. Van Halen. And he's got a solo stuff. I think the Kid Rock, whoever texted in the Kid Rock, because that would fit into the budget. He was here at Mosaic. I don't remember much of that one.
Kid Rock?
Yeah, he opened for Bon Jovi, I want to say.
That's right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, he didn't headline. He opened. That's right.
I understand. Might need a fact check on that. Bon Jovi isn't touring or singing anymore.
No, not right now, no.
Yeah, because he'd be a good one. But I'm going to hang my hat on Matchbox 20.
I don't know if Walter is touring either, but he's still around. He's 90.
He's still with us?
Yep.
Yeah. My dad was a Walter Ostenak guy.
Oh, if we're going that way, let's get the Tex Pistols out there. Let's get the little Brian Sklar with his squeeze box. With his squeeze box, let's go.
Get a little jig going. We'll continue that in hour 3.
According to Wikipedia, he is still active. We could get Walter out.
If you want to see anyone at Country Thunder, we're having fun with it. 936-6262. Hour 3 will start with Glen Suitor. It is a Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com. It is hour 3. Greg from Piffles Podcast is with me. Man, we ran the gamut here. What a busy show. Still to come this hour, Glen Suitor here in moments. And we're going to talk to head coach of Team Saskatchewan. Just got back for the 2025 Indigenous Cup. They won bronze football championships. And talk to, that'll be the Fries Tallman Indigenous Sports Spotlight. And then the Red Sox report. Also, Red Sox in action, 7 p.m. tonight at Curry Field. Gavin McKenna, the big news. It sounds like it's official now. He's going to be playing for Penn State, NCAA next year. If you're in Medicine Hat, season ticket holder, just supporter, whatever, you kind of knew this was coming, but you are devastated.
Well, you're losing the year because this was going to be his last season regardless. So Penn State's getting him for 1 year for reports are anywhere between 700 and 750,000. So I don't blame McKenna to get the bag while you can, but it's going to change the face. It's going to change the world of the CHL. Like there's going to be a lot of big money NIL deals for the top stars.
I'm somewhat surprised that they're throwing out the number because he's Canadian, but he doesn't have a work or hold on. Yeah, no, he's Canadian.
Yeah,
doesn't have a working visa. You're on a student visa.
But here's the thing: is though they're not working per se. He's not playing hockey for that money. That's name, identity, and likeness. It's basically a publicity deal.
If you read up on it, when the great state of America says yes, you can come here, be a student. You only can collect money certain ways.
Yeah.
So that's where the way I read it, basketball and football, especially basketball, they come up to Canada. They play these exhibition series, and then it's like the Canadian kids get their bag that way. But maybe there is something that Gavin's gonna do things in Canada to get it. I don't know.
He's gonna be the Penn State ambassador to Canada, like that type.
He's gonna wear the Nittany Lion costume and travel around and do.
That's the world's ugliest costume for a mascot.
I like it.
That is so bad.
I really like it. I want to know how he's getting this scratch though, and they're announcing it. That baffles me. I've been trying to follow this as closely as I can, unless I'm missing something. Man, and you said can of worms now.
Oh yeah.
What about some of these other guys that could sign next year, this year?
don't get me wrong, it's good for the guys that are aging out of the CHL. It was another opportunity for them to go if they weren't going to get drafted. But you're going to have these high-profile schools now looking to cash in because they have the ability to bring in this NIL money.
Huge. Boston University starts playing.
Minnesota.
Denver. All the Minnesotas.
Yeah.
UND. They're already in it. Big hockey. So Maine. Michigan. Well, Michigan, yeah. This it's going to be interesting. Going to be very interesting. We're also talking, and we're getting texts on the Prairie Land Rentals text line at 936-6262 on, we talk about this all week, but musical acts, more rock acts that you'd like to see at Country Thunder. This year they're doing Def Leppard. I said, I don't know a person. I don't know if there is a person that doesn't like at least one Def Leppard song. Their Sunday night. Last year was Nickelback. Who next year as a rock? You threw out a couple. Don't shrug. You threw out who? Everclear?
Everclear? Foo Fighters? Are they in the budget?
Ooh. That would be close. You might have to be creative on the Friday and Saturday. You might have to get Brian Sklar.
Worth it. Worth every minute.
I feel like Brian Sklar has been performing I remember my dad used to go to the Union Center and get all buckled up in Saskatoon, and Brian Sklar was playing. And that was in the 80s. Like, did Brian Sklar start his career when he was 12?
Quite possible.
And it was Prairie Fire. Brian Sklar and Prairie Fire. I remember that band. I don't know how I remember that. But no, you said, and I threw Weezer out because Weezer's playing Rock and Thunder in Edmonton, which is owned by the Country Thunder and Troy and his group this week. So would Weezer be big enough as a rock headliner for Country Thunder?
I believe so. They've got a good catalog and they can play anything. So
maybe I got to listen to more. Weezer.
Chili Peppers in the
Chili Peppers would be big.
Be big, or would they be in the budget?
Maybe Matchbox 20. I'm telling you.
Maybe you keep on trying to sell Matchbox 20, and I'm not there with you.
What about Three Doors Down? Out of those two, who would you rather see?
Three Doors Down?
Yeah, they're good, man. I really think Sammy Hagar, because people have thrown out the Van Halen, and we've had some country ones too. And who was Kid Rock was the other good one on the text line, which I thought that could be in the budget. Hey, let's maybe, we got him standing by. Let's maybe get his take on it. Let's go talk to Glen.
Time now for press coverage with CFL and Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Glen Suitor on the Sports Cage. Brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090.
I'm gonna take this question one step further, Glen. And I know we all remember Glen in the 80s, the Riders. What kind of vehicle did you have again?
My first one was an Alero.
Okay. You strike me as a Cutlass guy.
Yeah, no, I had the Alero. It was Albert Brown, a teammate of mine who was a DB at corner, who came back from the States every year with a brand new car. And we wondered how he was doing that, because we were all making about the same money in the secondary. So how are you buying new cars and bringing them back every year?
Was he flipping them? Was he bringing them back and flipping them?
Well, I'm not sure, because I've got some stories about Albert Brown though that are just. Well, I'll give you one quick one. One of the years he came back, he was all excited because he brought back a Jeep. Looked like a brand new Jeep, and on the outside spare tire cover, you can get those customized. So you got it customized with the Saskatchewan Roughrider. Like he had himself in number 4 with the ball under his hand, like he was returning. Was the painting on his tire cover. And on the thing, it said Saskatchewan Roughriders. Saskatchewan across the top, Roughriders along the bottom. And he was all excited, so he pulled us all out of the locker room. Got to see my truck. You got to see my truck. Come on. And he never called me by my name, even though we were teammates for years. I was 2-7 dog, and if he just look at you and go, "Hey, 4 dog or 3 dog or whatever your number was," that's how he called you. But we walked outside, and this was custom painting, had spelled Saskatchewan Saskagwon. And we all burst out laughing, and he didn't figure it out. And I said, Albert, you spelled Saskatchewan wrong. He said, no, they did. They made a mistake. You're kidding me. I told him how to spell it, and his back was to the truck. I told him how to spell it. I said, well, spell it to me. How did you tell him? He goes, Saskagwon. Saskatchewan. I went, okay, well, you've got a unique truck for the rest of this football season.
Albert dog could probably flip it. He could probably flip some iron. Probably not the sharpest knife in the drawer though. When it came to other things, get a little car broker business working part time for the Riders. I like it.
Barney, he could run. I mean, he could run. I mean, there were times in the huddle when I would turn to Albert, and we'd have like a cover 3 zone defense or something, and I'm calling the coverages. So I'm in the huddle, and I call the coverage, cover 3, whatever the stunt was. And then I looked to Albert, and he looked like he had no idea what I was talking about. So I said, you have number 81. That's your guy. You stay with him no matter where he goes. Okay? That's it. We had to call play. Yeah, 4 dog. Hey, 2-7 dog. Okay, 2-7 dog. I was like, okay, that'll be one for the book.
That's good.
Coldplay, by the way.
What's that?
Coldplay.
Oh, I don't know if Coldplay. I don't know if they'd be in the budget. And are they a big enough rock? I want Matchbox 20 and 3 doors now, so I can't talk.
You're pumping Matchbox 20's tires right now.
What about Garth Brooks?
Well, that's the countryside, yeah.
Is Chris Gaines available?
Yeah, it's no, because they do one night rock, right? And then we're going to talk Thursday too, so you can let this stew a bit. But I was the one I would Sammy Hagar, and I see. That. So I know where you're going to go: Van Halen, David Lee Roth, or Sammy Hagar. Which one? Where do you land?
Sammy Hagar, for sure.
Do you?
For sure. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I heard you guys mention Kid Rock, and my only question there is, can he get in the country? I mean, I'm just saying, like, isn't Kid this the guy that had the AK-47 and was shooting pop can or beer cans and stuff?
Yeah, but our track record of letting people in the country. I don't know if we can. Kid can come. Kid can come. I don't know how secure a border is these days, Glenn.
And I'm kidding, of course. If Kid Rock is listening and wants to bring legal action.
Well, if Kid Rock is listening, a bawadaба to him. Anyway.
Oh yeah, good one. Hey, are the Calgary Stampeders for real? We're gonna find this out on Friday. What's your take?
Well, their defense got a lot younger, less experienced, but are much faster. And I think this defense in Calgary is playing better than Calgary's defense has played for 2 or 3 years. So that's kind of where it starts because it keeps you in games. But, boy, did they make the best team in the West look like mere mortals. I mean, that's Damon Webb. He's their veteran in the secondary, but they've got 2 young halfbacks. Their corners only have a couple of years experience, not a lot of games, but they play fast. They're almost playing like no one gave them a chance. Everyone rated them as last. And, they don't know any better, almost. That, by the way, that was Derek Moncrief, who Rider fans know very well. Yeah. So, they've sprinkled in some veteran guys, but that's really young defense, and it made what has been a powerhouse offensive machine with Brady Oliveira back look like mere mortals. Like they made Winnipeg look like, they're in the middle of the pack team.
I know, and I battled this with Luke yesterday, and Luke said no, like Calgary is the better team. Every team has it. Maybe is that Winnipeg's egg? of the year? Did they lay an egg in that one? Or from what you were seeing, did Calgary straight up outplay them and Winnipeg at almost their best?
Yeah, that was. I'm not going to say that Brady Oliveira was at his best, because I think he's still, that shoulder was bothering him still. He's not quite all the way back. But other than that, that was their game. They started trying to run. They went back to it quite often. They always run their team and offense through their run game, and their offensive line is usually the guys blowing holes open and things like that. And they kept trying to go back, and Calgary made their plays. Calgary, I thought that one by Moncrief, they were giving them the short stuff, and defense gave them the short stuff for 3 or 4 plays in a row, knowing that they were going to jump one of them. And that's a veteran quarterback in Zach. What it does is it tells you that they're not invincible. That, believe me, that game film, I still call it film. I know it's video or whatever now, webcams or whatever they are. That is going to be passed around, and guys are going to go, okay, this is the. Now you're not going to get 2 pick sixes in a game every game, but they're going to look at that film and say, this is how you limit the run and put them in second and long. And then when you put them in second and long, they're like any other team, even with their veteran quarterback and their receivers. So
a little bit of a blueprint.
Yes. And believe me, teams are studying it because they have been the big dog on the porch.
Mm-hmm. Looking at the other side of the ball, of course, Vernon Adams in that locker room this year, always, despite everything he's been through, always getting basically seems like he's been running down everywhere he's gone, despite being always so positive and always so good. Is his leadership now as a breath of fresh air in Calgary now that they're trying to turn it around?
I think so. I absolutely do think so. And we've said, Greg, a couple times on this show too, that's the one thing that you cannot question about Vernon Adams. You ask any of his teammates, current or former, and they will tell you what a great leader he is. And that he is not just a leader of the teammates. He's a leader of the staff. He's a leader of the crew that are the coaches. He's a leader with the equipment staff. He's a leader with the training staff. He's a guy that he walks into the locker room and he says, what do you guys need? How can I help you? How can I help this organization? And everywhere he's been, that has been the case. Now, I think where the doubt has come in, and let's be just flat out honest, where the doubt has come in is at times when he looks like he's a little bit confused by the defense he's seeing and he throws too many interceptions. And I think that's where that doubt, that seed of doubt is planted on some coaches. And then when they think they have a guy that's not going to make those mistakes, that's when Vernon gets shipped out. He didn't throw an interception against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and he's limiting those mistakes now. And maybe that's Dave Dickinson's influence on him. So, yes, your question is a good one, and Vernon Adams is one of the great leaders in sports, and I'm happy for him. He's a guy that is hard to not cheer for. Whatever team he's on, he's out there slinging it. He loves the deep ball. Who doesn't like that if you're a fan?
He's a hard guy to hate, that's for sure.
Yeah, like a Brian Sklar.
Yeah. Like a Brian Sklar.
Like modern day Brian Sklar. What about Friday? Hamilton, Toronto. Like I'm down on holidaying with the family. Get a chance to thank the Gord for IPTVs. You can watch anything anywhere now. And I'm like, this is shootout, excitement. It was like a flag football game at Glen. It was like couldn't keep. What a game though.
Yeah. I think this week was. I'm giggly excited about this week. That game, there were 89 points scored in that game, I think. And
89,
Kenny Lawler,
man,
with Bo Levi Mitchell, and Bo is healthy. Bo wasn't healthy last year, I don't think. I don't think he was completely healthy, but he is now, and he is back on form. Like he is all the way back, and him and that combination with him and Lawler. Wow, I just that's a 1-2 punch. It's going to be a challenge for anybody. But this week, Barney, was a great sort of display and verification, really, of what we talk about when we talk about the positives of this game. I mean, we saw in that game in Hamilton, a guy won $1 million because there were 2 kickoff returns.
Well, that's what I would. Roy Leister. I wanted to ask you now. Gail St. Clair in 1999, which she's definitely not getting the checks anymore because it's what is it? What did we find out? 40 grand or
50 grand over 20 years,
something like that. When you have been, how many years have you been calling games with TSN now?
30.
Okay, so there's got to be a point where you're like rooting for someone to win that thing.
Oh, every game that there's one. The first commercial break, it could be Rod Smith and I or Dustin and I turn and I go, one more and we got a millionaire somewhere. I mean, it is so on our minds all the time, and we try to remind it on the air that, hey, one more and it can happen. And there was the 1 year, and we were in Winnipeg.
2015 or 17. It's Colson. Did you ever fact check that? I know what you're going to go with.
Yeah. And there was a penalty on the second one for a phantom call. Could you imagine that? I mean, we were in the booth going, "No, you're kidding me, no." So we were trying to find every angle of this to see if this could be challenged, or can we just not have a clip?
Yeah.
And poor Karen didn't get her millions. I still remember her name. That's how ingrained it is in me. It's Karen. I know that for a fact.
Karen, yeah.
Poor Karen. Hopefully she got a gift card. If it was a Safeway back, no, it would have been maybe Save. But I, in that whole game and the craziness and everything that I was watching, and then sitting there watching the highlights and having a gin, looking at the mountains with Mrs. S, and I'm like, wait a minute, somebody won what? And you know what? And I'm not just saying that. Now that we got to know each other for over a year here, I was like, I bet you Glenn was so happy. Like, now that I know you, and then that's where I'm like, I can't wait to ask him, because he probably cheers for someone to win that darn thing, and you do.
Oh, I just and as a matter of fact, I was so excited, and I called our producer, not the one that was working that game, but the producer that I was working with in the Edmonton game, Edmonton-Ottawa. His name is John Hines. So I called him immediately, and I said, John, how are we going to get this guy on the air? Like, we have got to, we could shoot it and Save On Foods or something. And he goes in and he has the big check, or we have to get him on the air. And we're trying to get that done somehow, I think. And that's sort of, but in the Ottawa game, so Dustin and I are doing that game, and Javon Leake takes a punt return back for a touchdown. So now I'm going like, wow, that was a 94-yarder. And again, great example of the special team importance of our game. And I'm all excited. And then the next series, Pimbleton for Ottawa takes it back 97 yards for a touchdown. I go, that's another $1 million. And then Dustin says, whoa, easy.
I gotta interrupt. Guess what I found?
Okay, here we go.
Yes, and the effort he is giving is incredible. Now,
this is the kick from 2017.
If you're watching the stream,
he is not hitting anybody.
That was the call.
That was the call, yep.
Blocking the bat, $1 million. What's that ref's name?
Oh, that's
What ref was that, Glenn? I think Glenn's frozen now.
He is frozen.
I think we lost him. We have to reset. Oh, that was the block, though?
Yeah, it was the block. Yeah.
Oh, if you were watching the stream, you saw it. That's a soft call.
Oh, yeah. Everyone knew it was a soft call, yeah.
Yeah, we'll try and get Glenn back. But, jeez, regardless.
But Glenn's right. The CFL and special teams in the return game is one of the reasons why it is so good. And as the U.S. and NFL and NCAA move to the safe zone kick returns, it's never going to be the same.
Hey, did you read this text on YouTube? We can get to that. We get to that in a bit. Sorry, you froze. You froze. But
yes,
okay, we only got a couple more. We only got a couple more. But I wanted to ask you, and I asked this to Arash as well. Yeah. If we could go back to Saturday, let's say I'm asking you on Saturday night this question: Is it a bigger game for Ottawa or Edmonton? Who would you have said
at the time? Edmonton.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I don't think there's a team in the last 5 to 10 years that needed to win more than Edmonton did this past weekend. Honestly, and I don't cheer for one team or the other. I cheer for a close game.
I think he's freezing up.
I think we lost him again.
I think we'll catch up with Glenn on Thursday. Maybe the bear. Maybe it's something to do with the. Oh, there. Yeah, you're freezing. Glenn, yeah. Well, you're laughing. What is the bear update anyway? Have you seen it in the last week?
Haven't seen him for. No, we haven't seen him for a week. So I don't know. Maybe he's down the street or on another street or something. But he'll be back. He'll be back, and I'm going to go out and take the selfie up.
Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, Thursday we'll chat about this weekend's game. We'll talk to you then.
Okay, thanks, guys. Sorry about the internet issue.
Oh, it's all right. It's what happens when you live up in the mountains. Internet sometimes. Press coverage with Glen Suitor for Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090 to get a hold of Bronco Plumbing and Heating. We're going to a quick break here. We got the Freeze Tallman Indigenous Athlete Spotlight. We're going to talk about Indigenous football. When we come back, it is a Sports Cage on the home of local sports and the Riders 620 CKRM. Start with Rider news. Rider practice today. Tavon Campbell did not practice. Antoine Brooks Jr. taking his spot to be reevaluated tomorrow. Western Canadian Baseball League tonight at Curry Field, 7 p.m. Swift Current's in town to take on the Red Sox. Moose Jaw is in Saskatoon. Weyburn's in Medhat. Toronto Blue Jays starting right away taking on the White Sox. 9 in a row. Looking for 2 games in Chicago. And then if you missed it, it's at sportscage.com, the video and the story. Saskatchewan Rough Rider legend Brendan Labatt involved in a rollover at the Estevan Motor Speedway. Sportscage.com for that. Oh, better mention Gavin McKenna, too. Now it's official, I guess. Playing for Penn State next year. Sad news for all the die-hard Medicine Hat Tiger fans. How much? 700 American?
About that.
That's $1 million Canadian. Somehow, some way. In the nil. It is for Steelcraft Doors Regina. They're now into their new 40,000 square foot warehouse and showroom. Made in Western Canada for Western Canada. Steelcraft Doors. Text messages. Prairie Land Rentals, 936-6262. For the last 20 minutes here, and I like to tease people, we had the trivia earlier, the first ever, for Pump Jack's Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Pick the score for SaskTel, 936-6262. Starting now for 20 minutes. What is the score Friday? Stamps and Riders at Mosaic Stadium. Colson's going to award somebody 2 tickets to the game. That gets in today, and then if you're closest to at the end of it all, you got a chance to win a $200 SaskTel gift card. It's all brought to you by SaskTel. So 936-6262. What is the score Friday? Riders and Stamps. Do you have a score? Do you have a prediction?
35-25.
35-25 for?
Riders.
I lost my sheet from yesterday with everyone else's predictions. I have to write that down. See who's closer. We love to do it. It's for Freeze Tallman Lumber in Regina and Fort Capel. Whether you need decking, fencing, you need someone to do the work as well. Don't go to the big box stores. Head to Freeze Tallman in Regina, Fort Capel. They deliver as well. It's the Indigenous Sports Spotlight. Joining us today is head coach of the Saskatchewan team, that brought home bronze, Dan Tonge. Now, Dan, Greg and I were talking here. Tell us about Team Saskatchewan for the 2025 Indigenous Cup. How does this all come together? Has it been going on for a few years? And how does everyone kind of get on the team?
This is actually our third year. It's a program that's offered. It's actually a high-level performance program, and it's offered by Football Saskatchewan. We essentially have 2 ID camps. They usually take place in one in late May, one in mid-June. And then we have our main camp where ideally we would have 27 people on our roster. This year, due to some late cancellations by some of our players who weren't able to travel, we ended up traveling with 23 this year. So that's basically how it goes. It's the third year. This is our first year actually playing 9-a-side. Previously, it was a 6-a-side program, so it's a major step.
How far would kids travel? Where are all the athletes from?
Well, they're from all over the province. We have kids who come to the ID camps. We have kids from La Ronge, Cumberland House, Lloydminster. Down in the south, we have kids from Fort Capel, Belcaris, Moose Jaw, Regina, Saskatoon. It's really all over the province. We're probably about split 50-50 between smaller rural communities and the big 3.
Obviously, you have kids from all over the place, and fast forward to that bronze medal game, you're absolutely laying a mollywhopping on Northern Ontario. How do you keep a team focused like that?
Well, it really starts with day one, and the main message that we're trying to give these athletes is that the world distributes talent equally, but not opportunity. So when you have an opportunity, take it. Our community is somewhat disadvantaged in terms of we have more barriers. Financial, travel, all types of barriers that they have to get around in order to participate in programs like this. So when you get your opportunity, take advantage. And, we struggled our first game, and, we had a little bit of soul searching, and they responded very well. And, the mistakes we made in game 1, we didn't make in game 2, and it was reflected on the scoreboard.
Do you feel that the game of football, and you talk about some of those northern communities, and if people have ever been up north, they travel, whether it's hockey, whether it's basketball, they got to travel. Do you see football growing in the First Nation community, in the Indigenous community?
Yes, it is, absolutely, and a lot of that is due to programs that are sponsored by both local school boards and by Saskatchewan Rough Rider Foundation. So the Northern Football League has had enormous support from both of those, and that's just proving we're getting lots of kids, coming out of the north who are participating in those leagues. So it's great. It answers, one of the calls to action from Truth and Reconciliation. So it's a great fit.
Yeah, moving forward to next year, same thing, expand it to, where does Football Saskatchewan and doing something like this go?
Well, originally this program, it was called Six Nations Cup, and this was pre-COVID, and there were more provinces represented, 6 in total. Unfortunately, after COVID, a lot of these programs fell by the wayside. So actually, kudos to Football Sask and Football Alberta for resurrecting this program. And we had a one-game challenge 2 years ago in Edmonton. And then it expanded last year to 3 teams, including Manitoba. And then this year we're up to 4 with, expanded rosters and playing 9-a-side. And now we have Northwestern Ontario in as well. So it's growing. Hopefully we'll be able to add, more teams. Ideally, to make the format work, you'd have to go to 8 next, unless you had some buys in the first round. But it's growing, and that's great.
Awesome. Dan, congratulations. Must be so rewarding for you to see it. And let's hope it keeps growing, and maybe next year gold, right? That's the goal.
Well, football Sask, I've been a member forever, and, I've coached with the U18 at Football Canada Cup, and, gold is always on our agenda. So, anytime we don't finish gold, we're going to do some, take a long look at it and see why. And, there's lots of reasons for that. And some of it is that, some of our contemporaries in Alberta and Manitoba, their programs are just, they're excellent now. They're growing as well. So it's very competitive. And hopefully, next year, Northwest Ontario will be better as well. So
for sure. That's a good way to look at it. Thanks for doing this, Dan. And continued success.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me on the show, guys.
Right on. Dan Tonge, coach of Team Saskatchewan, brought home the bronze medal. That's a cool story, though.
Oh, great story. It's always good to see grassroots football expand.
Yeah. It's the Indigenous Sports Spotlight for Frei's Tallman in Regina and Fort Capel, whatever you need, whether it's decking, fencing, garage package. If you can't do it, they'll find someone to do it as well. Don't deal with the big box stores. See the local girls and guys at Frei's Tallman in Regina and Fort Capel. Break time, we come back. We are going to have the Red Sox report, and we're going to hear from one of the Saskatchewan Roughriders receivers. Hoping to have a big game on Friday. It's The Cage, streaming at sportscage.com. We're going to have a little one-on-one. Dave Thomas and Joe Robustelli here coming up, and then also the Red Sox report. Thanks to everyone today on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. Greg and I have had a lot of fun. Well, I've had a lot of fun. I don't know about you, but we're just getting people's ideas. We can do this again. I'm back Thursday, a little bit on Friday. Country Thunder. What's a rock band that they could bring in next year? I liked Def Leppard, Nickelback last year. Awesome. On our, what is this called? YouTube feed, sportscage.com. Justin down in Florida. Oof, how hot is it there right now, Justin? He's good at. What about the Eagles?
Yeah, we're on our 5th version of the Eagles, though. We're just going to roll out Vince Gill, one more last chance. Let's go.
So, to your point, because you said Dallas Smith and Default.
Yeah.
Or Default. Vince Gill and the Eagles. You could have maybe Vince headline Friday night, then the rest of the Eagles come Sunday. Is that what?
I wouldn't hate it, but...
Little Liza Jane.
Oh, beauty of a song.
I Still Believe in You. He's got a lot of slow songs. And is he still married to Amy Grant?
As far as I know,
she had a couple of bangers in the 90s.
She did, yeah.
She can come on and sing. Yeah, that's a good one, Justin. I'm trying to look from some of the other ones here.
No one said Fall Out Boy. I wish I would have thought of that sooner.
Fall Out Boy story. Funny. Huge Fall Out Boy fan. My buddy and I go see him in Phoenix, downtown arena. Oh, this is probably 12 years ago now.
American Airlines.
Yeah, it was America West. It was Talking Stick by this point. Anyway, we go to Fall Out Boy. I'm like, dude, we got to go Fall Out Boy's playing. We got to go Fall Out Boy. Picks me up. The kids are young. Mrs. S is like, I don't want to go to Fall Out Boy. And I know almost all of their songs. We go into this stadium, the hockey rink, downtown Phoenix, or basketball. And I'm like, we got to get a drink. There are no lineups for alcohol.
Of course there isn't.
I'm like, we get out to our seats. I'm like, everybody is 14, 15. Say everyone's not of age and 75% female. And I'm like, do we look like creeps at this concert? It was so.
I was going to say, are you specific about the concert or in general?
It was so good though. Like
they would put on a good show.
Yeah, they that would be, I don't know if that would move the needle here though. Like, I don't even know if they came to the Brandt Center, would they get enough people? Man, we could continue this forever. I can't wait for Thursday to get Sharky. And who's Sharky going to want to see at Country Thunder? Joe Robustelli, he's had a good year so far.
Very good year.
Here's one of my dark horses this year to have a good season. We have him, Dave Thomas, and Joe, a little one-on-one.
Joe, take me through this season so far, and then we'll rewind to last week before we get there. So how have things gone?
In my opinion, they've gone really well, man. I knew coming into this that maybe, I wasn't going to be starting, but I was okay with that. And eventually, I was just going to keep my head down and I'd get my shot. And, the opportunity presented itself and, I'm making the most of it.
Let's talk about opportunity. I'm going to tell you what I remember, and then I want you to tell me what you remember. Yeah. BC loads up the line. Jake Mayer reads it, takes 2 steps, heaves it down the near sideline to a wide open Joe Robustelli, who somehow gets a toe in and keeps the ball moving. That's what I remember. What do you remember?
So basically, all week we kind of knew that Peters, he's antsy, he likes to make plays, and we knew that if we had a second and short and we ran a certain concept, he may bite on it, so I would be alive. And when I lined up, I knew the ball was coming to me, so ran past him, kind of looked up, saw the ball in the air, felt myself kind of fading out of bounds, just caught it, tried to put my feet together and stay in bounds, and luckily they were, and the play was made, so that's all that matters.
To me, it seemed like the ball hung up for an eternity. Yeah. What was it like for you?
Yeah, it definitely feels like that. Definitely, and you hear the crowd like in the middle go, oh, so you kind of are like, oh, I better make this play, but it's up there. I get those balls in practice all the time. It's something that I work on all the time, so it's just a routine play.
It was anything but routine, because Jake Mayer comes running up to the line, not allowing BC to challenge because they weren't sure. Were you sure that you were in bounds?
I honestly had no idea. I'm not going to lie to you. I had no idea. From the reaction of the coaches, I thought maybe it could have been, it couldn't have been, and we had some people here who the first few days of the bye were telling me it wasn't a catch, and the pictures came out and I zoomed in and, took a screenshot of the feet and, had to rub it in their faces a little bit. But yeah, I had no idea, So
you put your best foot forward in that game. How does this team do that against a division rival in Calgary? And what's the first place showdown on Friday?
We just stay true to ourselves and just believe in what we got going on here. We know how good we are. We know we're not just a team, we're a family. We do everything together. And, we're going to go in there and approach this game like we approach every other game and just put our best foot forward.
Coming off a bye week, one of two things can happen, right? You can come out maybe a little slow, have some rust, or you can come out real fast, having done a lot of work in that bye week to see how you can improve individually and as a team. How do you anticipate this team coming out?
I think we're going to come out hot. I mean, we had a week off, come back. You can usually gauge by the first few days of practice, and these last 2 days we've been extremely sharp, and all we got to do is put together one more good day, and we'll be fine.
Calgary, perhaps one of the most underrated defenses thus far in the league. Have you saw some things that you think are going to be advantageous for you?
That's not really something. I mean, obviously we study the people that we're going against, but I got a lot of trust in Coach Mueller. He's a great offensive coordinator. Just following what him, Coach Quay say, what Trev say, and just kind of play freely, and everything will work out.
Joe, appreciate your time.
All right, I appreciate your time, Greg from Piffles Podcast. Thanks for coming in again.
Pulling double duty. We're recording tonight too.
Are you?
We are.
Oh, it's a long day for you.
Yeah, very long day.
Long day. Great song by Matchbox 20.
Oh, God.
Colson, thanks so much. I'm back on Thursday with Sharky. The Professor is in tomorrow. 7 p.m. first pitch at Curry Field tonight. Red Sox in action. Here is Tegan and your Red Sox report.
Showcasing the boys of summer. Time for another edition of the SportsCage Regina Red Sox Report on 620 CKRM.
For Unifor 594, energy workers putting the care in career since 1942. Safety is our business. I'm Tegan Whitco. The Bats came out swinging to start the week in Saskatoon, but despite lighting up the scoreboard, the Sox fell just short in a 12-10 slugfest against the league-leading Berries. The rematch back home didn't go their way either, as the Berries took both ends of the home-and-home series. Midweek did bring a spark and a doubleheader sweep. The Red Sox rolled into Swift Current on Wednesday night and took care of business, notching back-to-back wins on the road. Back at Curry Field on Thursday, it was the WCBL's game of the week and lived up to that hype. Fans were treated to an absolute barn burner, a 1916 shootout that ultimately went the way of the Moose Jaw Miller Express. The Sox wrapped up the week with another pair of games in Saskatoon, and on Saturday night, the club delivered. Regina snapped the Berries' 11-game win streak and handed them their first home loss of the season. With that, the Red Sox sit at an even 500 and hold down third place in the WCBL East Division. The club is 11 games back of Saskatoon for top spot, now past the midway point of the regular season. And that's your Red Sox report for Unifor 594.